Have you ever been in a conversation where someone is talking to you and you suddenly become painfully aware of your own eyes? You don't know where to look. Their face feels too close. Your brain starts whispering, "Am I staring too much? Not enough? Do I look weird?" So you glance down, then to the side, then at your phone. And afterward, you replay the whole thing thinking, "Why can't I just make normal eye contact?" Most people assume avoiding eye contact means one thing: insecurity, or guilt, or that you're hiding something. We've all heard it growing up. Look at me when I'm talking to you, as if eye contact is a moral obligation. But psychology paints a much more interesting picture. Avoiding eye contact isn't just about confidence. Sometimes it's about sensitivity. Sometimes it's about how your brain processes intensity. And sometimes it's actually a sign that you're thinking more deeply than anyone realizes. Let me show you what's really happening. Eye contact is powerful, almost uncomfortably powerful. When two people lock eyes, the brain reacts instantly. Research using brain imaging shows that direct eye gaze activates the amygdala, the part of your brain involved in emotional processing and threat detection. In simple terms, your brain treats direct eye contact as something important, sometimes even as something intense. Now imagine you're already someone whose brain runs a little more alert than average. Maybe you're socially anxious. Maybe you're highly sensitive. Maybe you grew up in an environment where eye contact meant confrontation, criticism, or conflict. When someone looks directly into your eyes, your nervous system can interpret it as pressure. Not danger exactly, but spotlight, exposure. It's like standing on a stage unexpectedly. Some people experience eye contact as connection. Others experience it as interrogation. And here's the fascinating part. Avoiding eye contact is often your brain's way of regulating stimulation. When you look away, you reduce input. You calm the system. It's the psychological equivalent of turning down the volume. Think about when you're trying to remember something complicated. Many people instinctively look away while thinking. Why? Because maintaining eye contact while processing complex thoughts increases cognitive load. Studies show that breaking eye contact can actually improve concentration. So if you're someone who frequently looks away while speaking, it may not be because you're disengaged. It might be because your brain is working hard. Now let's talk about social anxiety, because that's the obvious connection most people make. If you've ever felt your heart speed up in conversations, if you rehearse what you're going to say before you say it, if you replay interactions afterward, analyzing every facial expression and avoiding eye contact can be part of that loop. Eye contact feels like evaluation, like someone is scanning you for flaws. Your brain, trying to protect you, says, let's reduce exposure. But social anxiety isn't the whole story. Some people avoid eye contact, not because they feel inferior, but because they feel too much. Highly empathetic individuals often report that prolonged eye contact feels overwhelming. When you look into someone's eyes, you pick up micro-expressions, subtle emotional cues, shifts in mood. For someone deeply attuned to others, that's a lot of information. It's like opening too many tabs in your browser at once. Looking away becomes a way to manage emotional bandwidth. There's also a developmental angle. Neurodivergent individuals, especially those on the autism spectrum, often describe eye contact as physically uncomfortable or distracting. It's not about rudeness, it's sensory processing. In fact, forcing eye contact can make communication harder for them, not easier. Their brain may function better when visual pressure is removed. Culturally, eye contact means different things too. In some cultures, direct eye contact with authority figures is considered disrespectful. In others, it's expected. So what one person sees as confident, another might see as confrontational. The meaning isn't universal. It's learned. And then there's trauma. If someone grew up in an environment where eye contact preceded yelling, criticism, or unpredictability, their nervous system might associate direct gaze with threat. The body remembers even when the mind doesn't consciously label it as trauma. Avoiding eye contact can be an automatic survival response wired years ago. But here's something we don't talk about enough. Sometimes people who avoid eye contact are simply very internal. They live in their thoughts. If you're a deep thinker, you might find it easier to talk while looking slightly away, because your mind is building sentences, analyzing ideas, searching for the right words. Eye contact pulls you outward. It anchors you socially. Looking away lets you dip inward. It's like trying to write poetry while someone is staring at you. Possible, yes. Comfortable? Not always. Now imagine a child who is shy. Not loud, not attention-seeking, just observant. Maybe teachers described them as quiet but smart. Over time, they learned that being unnoticed felt safe. Eye contact draws attention, so they mastered the art of half glances. Brief eye contact, then retreat. Enough to participate, not enough to feel exposed. That pattern can follow someone into adulthood. And ironically, people who avoid eye contact are often hyper-aware of it. They think about it more than anyone else in the room. They calculate how long to hold it. They worry about looking awkward. Meanwhile, the other person probably isn't analyzing it nearly as much. There's also something deeply intimate about eye contact. We underestimate that. Romantic studies show that prolonged mutual gaze can increase feelings of closeness and even physiological arousal. It's intense. It strips away some of the protective layers we wear socially. So if you struggle with vulnerability, eye contact can feel like standing emotionally uncovered. And yet, avoiding eye contact doesn't mean you're broken. In fact, many creative, reflective, and analytical people report discomfort with prolonged gaze. Their minds move quickly. Their inner world is vivid.
Hey, you don't look
Direct eye contact can feel
really
like a demand to be fully present.
Talk to me.
Externally, when their energy is partly internal. There's a beautiful paradox here. Eye contact signals confidence in many cultures, but sometimes looking away signals depth. It can mean you're thinking carefully. It can mean you're regulating your emotions. It can mean you're trying not to overwhelm yourself. The problem isn't the behavior. The problem is the interpretation. If you avoid eye contact and immediately label yourself as awkward or weak, you create shame around something that might simply be a nervous system pattern. Now, that doesn't mean you can't grow. If avoiding eye contact limits your relationships or career, gradual exposure can help. Research on social anxiety shows that practicing brief, tolerable eye contact in safe settings can retrain the brain's threat response. Not by forcing yourself into marathon staring contests, but by building tolerance slowly. A few seconds, a soft gaze, looking at the space between someone's eyes if direct gaze feels too intense. Growth doesn't require self-criticism. It requires curiosity. Ask yourself, when do I avoid eye contact the most? With authority figures? With people I'm attracted to? When I'm lying? When I'm telling the truth? When I'm emotional? Your patterns tell a story. Maybe you avoid eye contact when you feel judged. That's about self-worth. Maybe you avoid it when you're angry because eye contact might escalate things. That's emotional regulation. Maybe you avoid it when you're overwhelmed in loud environments.
I know this is
That's
hard.
sensory sensitivity. See how different the meanings can be? And here's something freeing. Most communication isn't about perfect eye contact. It's about authenticity. People feel when you're genuinely listening, even if your gaze shifts occasionally. Warmth isn't stored only in your pupils. If anything, rigid, unbroken eye contact can feel unsettling. Think about it. If someone stared at you without blinking for 2 full minutes, you'd feel uneasy. So clearly, there's a natural rhythm to gaze. We look away. We return. It's a dance, not a rule book. What if instead of asking, why can't I just look people in the eye, you asked, what does my discomfort teach me about myself? Maybe it reveals that you're sensitive, that you process deeply, that you care about how you're perceived, that you want connection but fear exposure. Those aren't flaws. They're human. And if you're watching this thinking, that's me, I've always been the one who looks down, I want you to hear this. Your eyes aren't defective. Your nervous system is simply wired in a particular way, and wiring can adapt with compassion, not force. Imagine approaching conversations with gentleness toward yourself, allowing natural gaze instead of policing it, letting connection grow gradually rather than demanding instant confidence. Eye contact is just one small channel of communication. You are more than where you place your eyes. Sometimes the person who looks away isn't disengaged. They're protecting their inner world. Sometimes they're thinking deeply about what you just said. Sometimes they're feeling more than they can comfortably hold. So the next time you notice yourself glancing down or to the side, instead of judging it, get curious. Is this anxiety, sensitivity, habit, culture, memory? Self-awareness transforms shame into insight. And here's a gentle challenge for you. In your next safe conversation experiment, hold eye contact just 1 second longer than usual. Notice what happens in your body. Notice the story your brain tells you. You don't have to change overnight. Just observe. Because growth begins with noticing. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your experience. Do you avoid eye contact? When did you first become aware of it? What do you think it means for you? Share your thoughts, reflect on them, and let's explore this together. Human behavior is rarely as simple as it looks. Sometimes, looking away is just another way of trying to feel safe in a world that can feel very intense. And there is nothing weak about wanting to feel safe.